Hello hockey fans, and welcome back to another video. Recently, I decided to go back and rewatch a bunch of Idubbbz's Kickstarter crap videos, where he takes a look at a bunch of projects on Kickstarter.com and critiques them or the people who created them. If you've never watched his series before, do go and check it out, as it's a really entertaining watch, and the videos still hold up very well 4 or 5 years after their release. Now, as I was binge watching these videos, I began to ask myself, I wonder if there are any hockey projects on Kickstarter. So I decided to head over to the website to take a look, and oh boy are there plenty. So in today's video, I figured we could take a look at some hockey Kickstarter projects and see what we think about them. So let's just get straight into it, shall we folks? Let's start things off by looking at a project that had nothing but success in the Super Deca. This is an advanced hockey training system that features LED lights and rebounder bands, which helps to train stick handling, hand-eye coordination, peripheral vision and passing in a point-scoring time attack style game. The Super Deca had a funding goal of $10,000 and completely destroyed it by raising over $100,000 from 450 backers in only a month. The Super Deca seems to have found a place in the market and has integrated well into the hockey world, as it's been used by everyone from Pavel Barber and How to Hockey to pro hockey players like Stanley Cup champion Patrick Maroon and former NHL All-Star MVP John Scott. Now, those of you that are familiar with Kickstarter projects will already know this, but the risks and challenges section is a mixed bag. Some projects will provide detailed information about the issues they might run into, whilst others will say the only risk is them not reaching their funding goal or leave it blank entirely. That said, the Super Deca makes it clear that there are little to no risks or challenges with their product, since they already have a robust production system in place, complete with a manufacturing firm, a factory in China, and a third-party inspection lab to ensure all the products are of a suitable quality. They also state that they have tested dozens of iterations of the product before setting up their Kickstarter and getting their production system in place, so there's barely any risk in their eyes, as they've already brought a tried and tested product onto the platform. There's really not that much, if anything, to criticise about this project, as it's all really well made. They've provided plenty of videos explaining what the product is, the different ways you can use it in order to hone different skills, as well as linking videos of other people who aren't familiar with the technology giving it a try, and expressing their raw opinions of it, which are generally pretty good. The biggest positive of this whole project for me though, was that after the funding period ended, the Super Deca team regularly posted updates in the months following, and kept their backers in the loop as to how their product was coming along, and when they would receive it. Also, everyone who left comments on the project either complimented them for actually delivering their product on time, or had a question that was promptly answered by the product's creator. So all in all, a great job and a great product. Nice one, Super Deca. So we've looked at a great project, now let's shift our attention to an interesting one, as we look at Islander, a theatre production in New York that uses NHL commentary from the New York Islanders 2017-18 season and repurposes it into a comedy about fragility, expressiveness and shame. Now, some of you may not know this about me, but I actually have a first-class bachelor's degree in acting and creative performance. So I think I'll put my 3 years of training and student debt to good use and try and help these guys out a little bit. Haven't exactly done much else with it since I left uni, have I, folks? Things start off pretty poorly for this project, as their trailer is really bad. There's no rehearsal footage of the show, no video of a live performance, there isn't even an interview with the two creators of the project discussing what the show actually is. It's just a 30-second clip of people walking up the stairs into the Islanders arena with text that holds no real value to the visuals. Doesn't exactly entice you to pledge your hard-earned cash, does it? Well, Odd Man Rush, you know what they say. It's good to leave your audience guessing, that way it keeps them on their toes. That is true, but giving the audience absolutely no idea of what the show is actually going to be about will mean people will just tune out and wish they were doing something else, since they have no real investment in the characters or the story. But I digress. After watching the trailer and scrolling down their project, you realise that Islander is intended to be an exploration into the perceived struggle of straight white masculinity and the powers and shortcomings that come with being a member of this, quote, humiliating and identity-interrupting group. Not only that, but it also aims to explore the frustration of self-improvement in a #NotAllMen moment. For those of you that are unaware, #NotAllMen is an expression that is used by some men to dispute negative generalizations about male behaviour. However, it has also been used as a meme by feminists online, and the movement is claimed to be disruptive towards gender equality. So Islander is a stage play created by two women exploring the supposed struggles straight white men claim to have in today's society, which are then illuminated by New York Islanders commentary from the 17-18 NHL season. I can't say that I see the overlap between the theme and the narrative device here, but I'm a little intrigued, so I'm going to roll with it for a while. If you continue to read further down the project, you find that the purpose of this show is to seemingly take shots at straight white men and tell them that they need to change their behaviour and get up to speed with the opinions of today, no matter how frustrating that is for them. It seems that Islander will use NHL commentary to help tell straight white men that the struggles they claim to have either aren't real struggles or aren't nearly as bad as the struggles other groups of people go through. Now, I never usually discuss these types of topics on this channel, as I prefer to focus my efforts towards telling interesting stories, taking a trip down hockey's memory lane, or just poke some light-hearted fun at the sport. But since it's a key topic of this project, just humour me for a moment. Imagine if I or someone else made this exact same project with the exact same idea, but instead of looking at straight white men, we used it to look at the supposed struggles of the black community, or the LGBTQ community, or a religion, and poked fun and belittled their supposed struggles. That would be considered pretty insensitive, right? So if it's insensitive towards them, why is it okay if it's aimed towards straight white men? Don't get me wrong, I'm all for straight white men being the butt of a joke, as that's all it is at the end of the day, a joke. However, everyone else should be fair game too. After all, you've got to have an even playing field, right? You should be able to make a joke at anyone and everyone's expense, or absolutely no one's expense, not even straight white males. At least that's how I see it anyway. Also, a lot of the hockey fan base is made up of straight white males, so if you want hockey fans to come and watch your show, whether they backed your Kickstarter project or not, alienating this specific group of fans probably isn't the best thing to do. It kind of feels like you're shooting yourself in the foot by eliminating at least half, if not most of your potential audience before you've even stepped out onto the stage. I have another idea for you guys. Why not use the same premise with the same commentary, but instead of focusing on the struggles of straight white masculinity, use the commentary from the Islanders games to delve deeper in what it means to be a hockey fan and how that is reflected or even impacts the rest of their day-to-day life. Perhaps their dedication in following their team closely affects the rest of their personal relationships, or they feel like they have to prove that they are a true fan of the team by joining other teams in their adoration or even hatred of certain players or teams. Maybe then you can make a comment about how sports can cultivate somewhat of a mob mentality, where fans can take things way too seriously, not just towards other teams' fan bases, but to other fans of their own team. That way, you're putting the entire fan base of the sport under the microscope, and it doesn't come across as a witch hunt of a certain demographic. Now, I obviously could be wrong about their intentions with this show, and they may be in fact arguing the opposite of what I think they are, but their project doesn't give me enough information about the specifics of the show, so I've got to work with what they gave me. Oh, and they also have an actor play the role of John Tavares to go alongside such pivotal roles as Man and Other Man. So there's Man, Other Man, John Tavares. I can tell the show put more effort towards picking the subject instead of some good character names, can't you? Now, despite my criticisms of Islander, it was able to reach its funding goal of $7,500 from 106 backers in just 24 days, but the reward tiers that they offered to these backers is what really made me want to look at this project. For $13, you get a social media shoutout, a virtual high five, and a thank you in their show's program. So you get thanked in 3 different yet equally worthless ways. For $27, you get a shout out on a separate, award-winning Instagram story series directed by one of Islander's creators. So an even more expensive yet equally as worthless thank you. For $55, you get free transportation to an Islanders home game, which sounds like a pretty good deal in theory, until you read that it's nothing more than a $2.75 Metro card that's been autographed by the creators of the show. So you get a Metro card worth a couple of bucks that's signed by 2 people you've probably never heard of and will likely forget about just as quickly as you hit the pledge button for $55. Can you see why I hate these rewards yet? If you pledge $91 towards Islander, the creators of the show will write to John Tavares himself and invite him to come and watch the show. You don't receive anything for this award, you just pay the show's creators to write a quick tweet or send him an email that he'll probably never even read. $91 for a tweet. 6 people back this tier. For $250, you get an invite to the opening night pre-game party with the Islander cast and crew. So $250 to go to a party with a bunch of people you don't know for a show you may not even enjoy watching. 3 people back this tier. And the worst one of them all, for $500, the Islanders team will have an Ed Sheeran lookalike send you a personalised video singing Shape of You. $500 for a celebrity lookalike to sing you a song from a show about hockey and straight white men. You could probably get someone off Cameo to do the exact same thing for like $20. Hell, you could probably even get the real Ed Sheeran to sing you a song for $500. The worst part is, someone actually backed this tier. There is one person that spent $500 on a celebrity lookalike singing a song. Can you imagine having that much disposable income that you feel content forking over $500 for a fake Ed Sheeran, not the real Ed Sheeran, a fake Ed Sheeran to sing you a song? That must be a good life to live, eh, folks? I wish I could have that much disposable money. I'd throw it at all the different celebrity lookalikes. Give me all your songs. Show me what you got. Unfortunately, due to the virus that's been going around for the last few months, Islander has been postponed indefinitely and is awaiting news on when it can finally get on stage. So hopefully it won't be too long until we can see it debut on the New York theatre circuit. I'm sure they're going to do really well if they take my changes on board. If they don't, good luck, you're gonna need it. So we've seen a great project and an interesting one. Let's finish off with a rather questionable one as we look at Hockey Universe, a new hockey manager game. This is an old school hockey manager where you are in charge of a German league hockey team and their success both on and off the ice. I don't know why they've specifically made it the German league out of all the leagues available. I would imagine the project creator is from Germany and he wanted to give some love to the German league, but making it just about the German league is kinda minimizing your potential audience, right? The project was able to reach its $1,000 funding goal from 23 backers in just 2 weeks, which kinda surprises me given the trailer and the screenshots provided. This is what the game looks like. These are the screenshots that the creator provided. Now I get that this was probably made by one guy, so you shouldn't expect a miracle or a AAA title, but it really doesn't look that good, does it, folks? Especially since it was made in 2014. It already looks at least a decade to 15 years out of date, and it was only made 6 years ago. You know what? I could see these screenshots looking right at home in NHL 2004's Dynasty mode as Oh Ellen or Punk Rock 101 is blaring out in the background. God damn, that was a great game. In the project's trailer, the creator mentions that he has been playing hockey manager games for years now, but nothing that has been released recently has caught his interest. Oh, so Sega's East Side Hockey Manager didn't catch your interest? What about the franchise Hockey Manager series that's released every year? You know, these games that are far better funded and produced by a team of experienced developers, they didn't catch your interest? Well, I mean, that's a shame, but I don't think making your own hockey manager and asking for other people to fund it on Kickstarter is going to fill that void for you, mate. Mum, can I buy franchise Hockey Manager? Son, we already have franchise Hockey Manager at home. The franchise Hockey Manager at home. Now, despite all the warts on this project, most of the reward tiers are pretty well priced and provide decent items in return. Except for one. If you pledged $500 towards Hockey Universe, so half of their initial funding goal, you would receive a physical and digital copy of the game, have your name added to the About section of the game, and you could have your company added as a selectable sponsor, although the developer can refuse a picture of your company if it doesn't comply with their policies. So no images of Pierre Maguire's beautiful bald head, Brad Marchand licking anyone, or that woman who flashed her chest at Ovi when he won the cup. This tier is incredibly overpriced, but someone actually backed it. There is one person on planet Earth that decided to spend $500 on Hockey Universe. I'm willing to bet it was either the developer of the game, the creator of the project, or one of his really close friends, as they wanted to make the game look more popular than it actually was. But I guess we'll never know. And with that, I'm going to end today's video. What did you guys think about these 3 hockey Kickstarter projects? Also, what do you think about this type of video? Do you want me to take a look at more hockey-related Kickstarter projects? Perhaps we could take a look at Indiegogo and see what they've got going on over there. Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to like, subscribe, share, or watch some of my other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. A big thank you to Antti Hannanen, Chris Gadsby, Connor B, John Plomin, Jordan Whitehead, Martin Tolness, Paul Mallia, Roman from London, The Legacy, and Worthless Pieces for helping support this video via Patreon. If you too want to help support the channel a little bit further and get a shout out at the end of every future video, make sure you head over to patreon.com/oddmanrush and become a patron today.